Anyway, that's everything from me. David, what you doing?
A couple things. The first thing I wanted to talk about, speaking of videos on Facebook and YouTube, I started watching. I heard about this and then I finished it because it was a series of videos. It's called "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared." Now, you said you kind of heard about it, right?
It sounds familiar.
Okay, so
first, when did you hear about this?
Probably like maybe a few months ago. I heard about it in passing. Because, I'll load stuff up on YouTube, and when you're waiting, you're just like, oh, let me see what's trending, or let me see what's on my subscription, or what other people that I follow like. And this kept coming up, and it's puppets. So I was like, oh, it's some stupid puppet-like thing. Like, Sesame Street type thing. Because I always see Sesame Street now on HBO Now all the time, and I thought that was what it was. It is puppets, but it's not like Sesame Street. So it's a show. It's a 6-series show that started in 2011.
Oh, wow. It's like ages ago.
No, seriously. It's crazy old, and people have been waiting. They just released the last episode of this 6-part series. They're all like 7-8 minutes long, on June 19th or 20th of this year. So just I think it just came out, or no, maybe it came out a little bit earlier this month. Doesn't matter. It came out recently, and that was it. Like they're like, we're done with it. That's and it's this it's like a production company, and it's like super weird. It reminds me of something you would see on like Adult Swim.
Oh, like Tim and Eric or something.
Well, it's like that. Where it's like very unsettling and weird, and it's very, very weird. But I watched all 6 of them, and they get really weird, like really graphic and gross, and like it reminds me. Remember we talked about Ren and Stimpy a few episodes ago, where it's like they zoom in real close and it's all
like
gross.
Nasty,
yeah, this has a lot of that, and it plays on the idea of, oh, this is your expectation of what a puppet, Sesame Street, Muppets show would be, and they play on that. But then as you watch all 6 episodes, they do interrelate sort of. But then I watched a bunch of reaction videos and like theory videos, because they've never like come out specifically and said this is what it's about. But
it just all started with a random video.
But here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to have you watch just like a couple minutes. I'll put it up on the screen too, so you'll pull it up. This is going to be the first one. Now each episode has kind of like a general like theme to it. So we'll watch a couple minutes of the very first one. This one was about they've done each one. The first one was about like creativity. The second one was about time. The third one was about like, there's one about food. There's one about love. Like they take these really big.
Nice.
It's super weird. All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move my mic here. All right, so we'll go ahead and start. This is gonna be the very first one. Like I said, I'll put it up on the screen too, so you guys can actually pay attention. I'll put some audio in here too. So it's super weird. Okay, so it's like,
all right.
No, I'm gonna give you a little bit of talking here. So.
Turn it up a little bit.
See, it says June 19th. That's when it started, I think.
Maybe when you filmed it, because this was uploaded on June 29th. Got some claymation stuff, all right?
It's
cute.
It's super, like, it's these 3 puppets. One's like a duck.
What's your favorite idea?
This is weird singing.
Mine is being creative.
How do you get that idea?
I just try to think creatively. Now when you look at this orange, tell me please,
right, it's very, very like...
It's just a boring old orange.
Maybe to you, but not to me. I see
it immediately starts playing on like, oh, it's fun, it's cute.
Yeah,
and then that
like
only makes it only more unsettling when they start to go like to the weird parts.
Thinking creatively. So take a look at my hair.
Cool.
I use my hair to express myself.
That sounds right.
It'll get there, don't worry. It gets, like I said, it's super weird because I thought this was like stupid, so I kept watching. I was like, why is this so popular on YouTube? It's just stupid.
This has 35
Take another look.
Yeah.
I can see a hat. I can see a cat. I can see a man with a baseball bat.
It doesn't...
I can see a dog. I can see a frog.
It's like
I can see a ladder.
I don't know. I think it's based out of
Think you're
England.
getting the hang of it now, using your minds to have a good time.
I might paint a picture of a clown.
Whoa there, friend, you might need to slow down.
Then it just gets super awkward from here. Like,
Here's another good tip of how to be a creative whiz kid. Go and collect some leaves and sticks and arrange them into your favorite color.
this is so weird.
Blue. Red. Green.
Green is not a creative color. There's one more thing that you need to
So, anyways, that's part of Don't Hug Me. I'm scared. It's like I said, it's unsettling. It gets even weirder.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna watch.
Oh, it's definitely worth watching. But apparently, the theories that I've seen on it, because again, this one's about being creative, and it's the notepad, and the notepad. There's always like a main character that's singing throughout it. There's always singing, and it's very lighthearted. And then it gets more and more unsettling as the song goes on and on and on. And the characters, weird things happen to the characters. It has that. I'm trying to think of an example of. There's parts of the show that are super meta within themselves. Like they start to realize that the puppets are puppets. And it's, like, I think of like all those, like Truman Show, like when she's like, come help me. You know what I mean? And then he's like, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
He's like, who are you talking? Like it starts to pull some of that. It's super unsettling, but it's
reminds me about Too Many Cooks, like right off the bat.
Right, where it's like it starts to get more and more unsettling and more and more weird. I definitely recommend everybody check it out. They do like 2D animation. Oh, they do one about technology. No, digitally, and like it's very. If you take the time to watch all of them, and then you go and watch some of these reaction videos, you're like, oh wow, it's an interesting take on like on all these different things about being creative and the idea is like, okay, so being creative, it's this idea of like God, I'm trying to think how they basically explain it. It's the idea that pop culture or like the media kind of tells you what you should be. So it's like, oh, you need to be creative, but that's not creative. That's not what I'm talking about. This is the version of creativity that I'm talking about. Or like you need to
very deep.
Right. It's super deep, and it's like we have Animal Farm.
It's like borderline genius.
I don't know. People really like it. I don't know if everybody gets it. I think they enjoy the unsettling nature of it because it's super creepy. Like
I'll be the judge of that, David.
You need to watch all of them. So everybody go out there and watch. Let us know in the comments what you think, because I enjoyed it thoroughly. And then again, watching the reaction videos, it's very deep. It talks about like how what television, or the idea of like what you're because again, they're playing on the idea, oh, these are these puppets. This is this preconceived notion of what it's supposed to be about, and then the fact that it's only on the internet and it's making fun of like there's a part where the puppets ask a question, what is the largest thing in the world? And the computer can never really answer them. He keeps talking about how smart he is, because the idea is like, you never, on the internet, there's so many resources now that you never actually get the answer to your question. You just get, I can find every answer for you. It's like, well, I need the answer, right? It's
interesting.
Very deep.
I'll definitely
very
check
meta.
it out.
So definitely check that out. That's Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. You can buy t-shirts and stuff like that. It's really weird. Like some of the t-shirts are really creepy. It's also a weird name. The other thing that I did, the couple things. One, they're kind of interrelated. So, I did this with you. We checked out, this new, it's a video game, but we've played Tabletop Simulator in the past. Mm-hmm. There's a kind of a different version of it, or in my opinion, this is a little bit more, built from the ground up specifically for board games. It's called Tabletopia. So it's digital versions of board games. But again, there's no like rules assist or like, AI built into it. You have to know the rules of the game you're playing.
Right.
But the interface is far better than Tabletop Simulator.
It's just like you said before. It's definitely more streamlined.
It's built,
though. Yeah, Tabletop Simulator is more open, but this is more. Sometimes it's better to have it more.
Well, the one thing here is that
over it.
I don't think they're violating every copyright under the sun.
That as well.
That's what Tabletop Simulator does. Here they don't. They get the. I believe they get the. My understanding is they get the creators to provide the assets. So then it's all. If you're. Because some people have a problem. It's like stealing music, right? Like some people have like, I don't want to steal music because I want to help the artists that I like continue to make their creative endeavor. Right. So if you're pirating everything, then you're not really helping anybody other than yourself, right? It's not a victimless crime, everybody. But Tabletopia works with publishers and different designers to get these assets put into the game under their permission and guise and all that stuff. So I'm sure there's some licensing and things like that.
Yeah, but then it's done right the first time.
That's the other thing too.
It's not like, oh, this card wasn't scanned in at the right resolution. It's all messed up. Weird stuff like that.
And they've got tons and tons of great games. We played, we started to play Viticulture, which I don't think you've played yet, right?
No.
It's a winemaking game. It's fantastic. It's so much fun.
What was the other game we actually played though? The quick one, with the monsters.
Oh, Nightmarium. So it's a card game. It's only based in, I believe it's only in either, I want to say it's only in Russia, available in Russia, maybe in Europe too. but I know it's not here in the States. I know they're going to be coming out with a
Oh, like
Kickstarter
the
for it.
physical game.
Like a physical copy of the game.
So
it's
you
a
can
card
only
game.
play it on Tabletopia.
Yeah, if you're in the U.S.
It's good.
It's very good. It's a simple card game where it's the first player to make 5 monsters, but there's like a slot for the legs, the torso, and the head.
Right.
But these monsters all they're like disgusting looking. Speaking of Don't Hug Me, I'm scared. They have like these awesome creepy artwork.
Yeah, the art's really cool. It's funny, like as Dave was explaining the game, I was looking through the cards and trying to match them with the correct ones.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh no, they're all unique. I was like, oh. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
there's all these different. They do match up some, but there's different like classes, or I think they're called legions, different legions of them. And then what's cool is as you finish the head of one monster, it'll activate abilities of that monster, which can then like make other players lose cards. So it's a very take that card game, or it can help. You can kind of get this comboing effect going. You know that's always fun in games. Like I think like Magic the Gathering and stuff. Like if you play the cards just right, you get to do this awesome comboing effect. But the artwork's great. It's fun to play. It's quick. We played a 2-player, which I enjoy. I would imagine with like 4 or 5 players, it'd be nuts. Like just complete chaos. But that seems still like fun. But again, the interface on Tabletopia is super slick. I did find out you can set cameras and stuff like that. So like it'll slide the actual camera, like so you hit 1 and it'll slide the camera to the main board, and then you hit 2, maybe it'll take you to a smaller player board. So it has some really cool things that tabletop simulator doesn't have, and it's built from the ground up, so
it's more intuitive and stuff.
It feels like it's meant for people who want to play board games digitally. And it's still cool because you can go to, it has the thing where you can find games that are currently
Mac on PC too, which is nice.
And you can go to the browser.
Too.
Yeah, you can do it through the web browser too, and I believe it's all cross-platforming too. So they're in beta right now, but it's still really good for a beta. Like usually betas are pretty terrible, but this one's awesome. And then the last thing is actually a physical game. And I have the box right here. Hold on. Merchant of Venus.
Oh, I saw you playing this last night, or?
Yeah, I was playing this last night. So this is a 1 to 4 player game. It's really I would never play it with more than 3 players because this game is a little long. It's what they call a pick up and deliver game. So the idea is you are a merchant and you are traveling throughout the galaxies to pick up different goods and deliver them to other places that they want to be delivered to, which normally sounds a little boring. But what's cool about the game is that when you're traveling throughout these different planets, different encounters happen, like space pirates might show up, or you might have to do like a certain type of skill check or things like that. And then in each one of these planets at the beginning, each of the planets are unknown, and there's 14 different planets, I believe.
Okay.
And as you go to the planet, when you land on the spaceport, you flip over a card because you place a random card on each one of the planets, and then that'll determine which of the 14 planets it is, or what alien race lives there. So the first part of the game is really this like exploration part. You're all trying to kind of race to get to the planets, because if you get there first, you get a bonus to buy things on that planet, and then you also get first dibs at like buying something there and then potentially delivering it. But you remember I fell in love recently with Firefly. Mm-hmm. This game feels like Firefly. Like in that,
this looks like a 4X PC game.
It doesn't have. It's more of the exploration and exploit. I don't think it's exploit.
There's no combat.
There's no. Well, there is. You can screw with other opponents through like encounters, and you can fight space pirates. But you upgrade your ship, and then you like grab passengers and stuff like that to travel, and you can drop them off. But there's also this fame and infamy mechanic of the game. So like,
you're like a famous smuggler.
Yeah, you can. So then like one of the things you can do, like, cause you only have so much space in your ship. So like if you want to pick up a passenger and then you're like, oh man, like in order to go to this next place, I need more space. You could just jettison the passenger out of your ship, but then you get infamy
Yeah,
points.
everyone knows that.
So it's very simple as far as it's kind of almost a roll and move because you determine where you want to go, which direction you want to go. You roll the dice, but there's like interstellar gates. So if you go through this gate, it'll shoot you across the other map, and sometimes you don't know where it's going to go. But you get to upgrade your ship. That's probably my favorite part of this game. You get things like fuzzy dice, like you put these and they give you like a cool little thing, or you can get like a stealth shield, or you can get like a variable laser, and so it's very simple to play. The problem with this game is the way the game works. It's whoever has the most money at the end of the game wins. So it's like an actual economic merchant game, but it's 30 rounds.
Holy crap.
Because the first probably 10 rounds of this game are straight exploration because you're just trying to find out where
what's on what planet.
Yeah, because certain goods will only be able to be picked up and then delivered to other places. So like one place might make
unique.
this type of alien furniture, and then that furniture only gets delivered to these 4 planets. So you have to then find that planet. and then get there. And then there's different upgrades that you can do. There's like a black market thing where like you can sell it to a planet that doesn't want that, but you get negative infamy points. And at the end of the game, you take how much money you have, you take how much infamy or fame points you have, and then you determine how much money. So it's the problem with playing it with 4 players, it would probably take about 4 hours.
Oh wow.
Maybe 3. With 2 players, if you know what you're doing, it goes pretty quick. You could probably play it within like an hour and a half. But this game came out a long time ago. I want to say it was I think it was like 83 is when it originally came out, and then Fantasy Flight reprinted the game, and this is the second edition. What's super cool about it is they have 2 versions of this game in here. So they have their updated second version of the game with some kind of, game mechanics have changed. Yeah, modern game mechanics. But they actually included a separate game in here. You flip over the board.
The original artwork.
It's not the original artwork, but it's the original game in all of its components. So you can play the old version and you can play the new version. Personally, I like the newer version just because it feels like it has newer mechanics. Now, I didn't play games. I just got into board games probably about 2 years ago. So I don't have like that history of what games used to feel like. But it's a ton of fun. It gets a bad rap, I think, because of the length of the game. People just don't like to. And it is a little simple. You know what I mean? Like it's roll the dice, move. Okay, do you want to buy this item, or do you want to upgrade your ship, or do you want to go this way? Do you want to go that way? But the artwork's fantastic. It reminds me that feeling of Mass Effect. You know when you do the side missions on Mass Effect, you're like, you got to go deliver this, or like you got to go do this, or you got to go do this mission, and you get mission cards at the beginning.
They're called
and stuff.
fetch quests.
Yeah, that's the negative version of it. That's the bad when you say fetch quest. This isn't like a fetch quest because it's more open. Like you can, and upgrading your ship is almost just as important.
Yeah, and you're getting stuff that's worthwhile. Where more fetch quests are like, thanks for the Hunter experience.
Right, but you get the same thing where it's like, I need to deliver this before I then can buy the things to upgrade my ship, but I need the upgrade to get through that nebula system. Like it's this cool, catch-22, but like in a good way. So I would definitely recommend everybody check it out. But I would say probably try it before you buy it, because it's a little expensive, but it's a good game. I enjoy it thoroughly. And it's different. It's different from my traditional taste. I'll have to have you try this and see what you like. And you can play a faster version. You can play to like 20 rounds instead of 30. But the 30 there's a reason, because it starts off as that exploration.
The first third of the game
then it turns into like an economic game, and then it finally kind of turns into like getting that engine cooking. Because remember we talked about most games, like the game will end before your engine starts getting on.
Yeah.
Your engine is cooking.
It's a slow burn,
like the last 5 to 6 rounds, it's like you are cranking it out. It's awesome. You're moving around the board really quickly because you'll get like super upgrades to your ship. So definitely check that out. That's Merchant of Venus. Okay. The other thing, actually, you know what? You heard about this. Have you heard about this? Burger King mac and Cheetos?
Yes.
You said you watched a review.
Yeah, I saw some guy. I'm a big fan of mac and cheese. Mac and cheese.
Who isn't, by the way?
Best comfort food ever.
I know people who are like lactose intolerant and still love mac and cheese.
it's just
worth
amazing.
it.
Any time of day, mac and cheese.
But I have some. We have a field trip. We did this a couple weeks ago. Me and Alyssa went on a field trip. Let's go get some mac and Cheetos.
Let's try them out.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, we're going to go do it.
We'll be right back.